for you. This is the one where we talk about anything and everything in the tile and stone industry. We dabble into LVT, vanities, construction, whatever goes into the finishes of a building, we know something about. And when I say we, I mean me and this handsome fellow, John Tedesco, my brother from another mother up north in New York City. John, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Craig. What's happening? Happy, end of the month. This is crazy.
This is the last show of not only August, it's the last show of the summer.
Well, I'm going to differ with you there because, the autumn equinox is September 23rd. Don't push it.
Summer's over when Labor Day happens.
Yeah, I know. You got the kids back in school. And I think it's more of that because my kids are out of school. So
you're like on vacation all the time. I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's good. But selling tile most of the time, so it doesn't matter. The sales goals don't go away.
No matter what time of year it is. That's right. Absolutely.
Exactly. But happy summer, everybody. This weekend is going to be a great weekend. Hopefully everyone gets out there, enjoys the summer with your loved ones, or if you want to be by yourself, enjoy it. That may be a good option. But 2023, we had a great summer. It's still going strong. Keep it going. And happy to be here. How's your summer going?
It's going great. It's been hot this summer. It's been good. I got one kid off to college, one in the middle school. But I will say there's some we're with you guys down there in Florida that are getting ready to experience a pretty crappy weekend, probably.
This is true.
So our thoughts and prayers are going out there with you guys. Stay safe and take cover. Hurricane. I don't even know what the hurricane's name is. Do you?
Idalia, Idalia, Idalia. So do you know that? Well, you probably know that they go in alphabetical order, right? You know that.
I do know that. And I remember just a few years ago, they added men's names. It used to be only women.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yep. Up until like 10 or 15 years ago.
Oh, wow. So, and I think they put them back in the hopper after 5 or 6 years, which is weird, but they definitely retire. Like some that do, like, unfortunately, that are lethal. The Hurricane Sandy and Katrina and all those, they retire those names. My daughter is actually in the West Coast. She's battening down the hatches. She's in St. Pete. She's actually in the marine industry. So she was out with her partner today, helping all her clients getting their boats in order. Yeah. So she's been doing that. And I've been worried about her all day. She sent me a picture of driving through the streets near the Don Caesar Hotel, which is this incredible hotel in the streets. And this is like 2:00. There's actually a couple inches of water on the streets already, just from a high tide, but related to the storm. And then before the show, she sends me a message of her surfing. I'm like, I'm worried about her. And she's like, surfing. She goes, okay, now she goes, I'm home now. I'm safe. I'm like, oh my God, But anyway, it's all
wherever you're watching from. It is the end of summer from my perspective. We know we got a few more weeks left according to the official calendar. But if you're watching tonight live, we're excited that you're here. And remember, this is your show. We want to talk about the tile stuff that you want to talk about. So no matter where you're watching, Twitter, or it's not Twitter anymore, X, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, send us your questions. I'm monitoring on this screen over here, and I can see them come in, and we'll get to them, and you can be part of the show. But
what I like when people,
if they're not watching live, if they're dead.
Yeah, what I like when people chime in, let us know where you're watching from today. So if you're watching and you're there, just give us a little shout out where you're watching from. That would be awesome. If you have a comment or a question, just plug it in and we'll be able to answer it or reply. If you're watching this after the show has originally broadcast, then still send us a message. We'll be glad to get back to you. We have some really good guests coming up, so we're going to surprise people. We're going to roll them out. So September, October, we got a lot of things in the hopper. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to our channels. We're on all sorts of channels, right? We got YouTube and X and LinkedIn. And I usually forget LinkedIn. I usually forget YouTube. Now I forgot one of them. Not Instagram.
Facebook. No, it's not Instagram. Facebook. But also, I added something new last week. We got friends here at this other screen on TikTok. So we have a few watching on TikTok right now, and they're kind of not linked into our live stream, but I'm actually filming it separately. But they're part of the show too, and we want to have questions from our TikTok audience. They know me mostly from a little bit of videos, but I'm loving the point that we can share, and I can share my friend John Tedesco with my TikTok audience.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't get my permission to share me with them, but it's okay. I don't mind.
Well, you're not on the screen. It's only with your voice. They're having to actually picture you. And
all right, that's a good thing.
That's probably that's a good thing.
No, I'm glad to be there because I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know much about it. I know it's a powerhouse, and you know what? Why can't they all just get together and let's just make one big platform? You know, that's never going to happen. It's like, you know, the Miss America contest. Yeah, when they say, "Hey, let us want world peace," and everybody just to get along, you just know it's not going to happen. But I would love for that to happen. We have Threads also, right? Which we're not broadcasting on, and
yeah, no, I don't know. I post on Threads just because I think it's linked to my Instagram account. I don't know. I really don't know how any of it works, but I know I've been posting there, and
they have 150 million or 120 million subscribers. And when you sign up,
are they real people?
I don't know, but when you sign up, they tell you what number you are, and I was 2,700,000. So it's what you call an early adapter. But I'm not using the platform much. I'm just there. Haven't got much traction. But do you have a drink? It's happy hour.
It is happy hour. I do have a drink. Cheers. It is my favorite drink of choice. Really, it's the only one I have in the house, which is some Jameson Irish whiskey.
Yeah, me too. I have some whiskey. I got some Jack Daniels on ice. It's every week I'm like, what should I choose?
What should I choose? And you go with the same thing.
And just by itself, like straight up, if I'm making a mixed drink, I could do all sorts of things. But what's your favorite drink out there, people? But I do, if I just want something on ice, I'll just do some Jack Daniels. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I hear you ask that question. What's your favorite drink out there, TikTokers? After a hard day of laying tile, what's your favorite beverage?
And do they have a different drink for the weeknight versus the weekend?
I guess you can separate those. Those are different circumstances. You don't have to go to work on Saturdays. Some of us do. Most of us don't. But drink of choice. We got let's see. Our my buddy Daniel says he needs a mixed drink. He'll take one. John, mix him a drink.
All right, let's do it.
So today's show is a little bit different because since I declared this the end of summer, I said, well, let's kind of talk about the summer. You know, maybe there's some things that need to be recapped. Maybe we beat a dead horse, and those of you out there, you tell us what you think. But the summer went by, in my opinion, pretty fast.
Yeah.
And as I was doing my due diligence and working through the show notes, I had forgotten some of the podcasts that we had just a few weeks ago because we're so busy. And we're on podcast number.
I think it's 25.
It is. It is 25.
You know what? Yeah, I'm afraid if you're going to flip through them that I'm going to remember what we talked about, but I'm sure it'll come back to me. But yeah, you know what? It's interesting because we don't prepare for the show. It's probably obvious, but we don't prepare for the show in a way where if we have a guest on, we don't send them like prepared questions. Maybe we'll have like a 2-minute conversation. Say, hey, just, you know, we're inviting you because you're in the industry. If Craig and I were sitting with you at the bar, we'd get a drink and we would just chat, just like a bunch of guys would get together and talk about sports if that was their interest. We want to talk about tile or tile industry or business in general. So if and that's why you guys are out there listening and watching and hopefully participating in the show, is if we're all together just having a drink, chatting about the industry. if you're not interested, you probably move on to the next part of the bar. But we really don't prepare. We don't prepare much, and we do some technical preparation because there's all the graphics, there's the music, there's the intro, there's the outro, there's a few segments. But this is really fun. This is our 25th episode. It's been going really smooth. It's been a lot of fun. We've had 2 remote broadcasts. Both happen to be from Florida, one from Orlando and one from Coral Gables, Florida. So it's been good. I'm really happy to be here.
The whole premise of our show is to open up the conversation for things going on in the tile and stone industry, which we'll talk about a little bit of that as we move forward through the show. But mainly it's for those that are interested in the industry to chime in. And so, you want me to bring up this kind of taking us back to the first?
Oh, down memory lane from a few weeks ago. Let's do it.
Down memory lane.
Well, what do you consider the first?
Those of you guys on TikTok that can't see this, I'm going to figure out a way to put another screen maybe behind me so you can at least see what's going on. But our first summer episode kind of was specific to new tile releases. Now, John, you've been in the industry forever. Is there a normal calendar that where distributors or manufacturers kind of release stuff at different times throughout the year?
Well, the tile industry is a global industry. It's not like an American industry, and it really wasn't born here. So we're on different timelines. Of course, Europe has some heavy vacations. It's really more built around the trade shows in the tile industry, Cevasama in Spain and the Terrazzo in Italy. Those are the 2 shows that really where they truly, the competitors are like, what are our competitors going to be launching? What are we going to be launching? And then people have to visit those shows, and then Tile Bar goes to these shows and we pick new products and then we order it. So it really doesn't really surround a season in our part. Historically, construction slows down a little in the summer because there are vacations and stuff like that. But things are different at Tile Bar because when you offload 300 containers per week in our warehouses, it's obvious that we're just cranking along. We have products that are in stock and we're rolling out all our assets with videos and renderings and specifications and 3D displays. We're just launching it when we're done with those assets. And
now I heard something today, and you tell me that goes along with what we're saying. Are the Tile Bar series, all of them stocked here in the country?
Yes. So Tile Bar has, I don't know, 5,000 SKUs maybe of products. Every time I say it, it's like the fisherman, right? That caught a fish this big and that big. So
actually, it's actually close to 6,000 now.
Yeah. So 6,000 items, and majority of that is stocked in our warehouses, and all of it's stocked in the United States. When I say our warehouses, we have a huge warehouse in New Jersey, huge warehouse in Arizona, and then we have some ancillary spots across the country, and factory warehouses, also backup inventories. But I'm just going to pull a number out of the air now. 95% of what we sell is in our warehouses in Jersey and Arizona, and then we have some backup warehouses. So
I don't know that I realized that until it was said today publicly. And normally, as a tile contractor, you say you're working on a project that's maybe a while out, you get these lead times. Hey, we've got to import this. It's 10 weeks. We got to import this. It's 12 weeks. Oh no, Europe is shut down for August. So that's a big bonus to say, hey, now, and obviously if you've got 100,000 square foot job, we don't have that earmarked for you, but to say that all the series that you can look at are possibly in stock, that's pretty impressive.
It is. I mean, that's my day every day. I work with, having our products, Tile Bar products specified. As you know, I help architects and designers, developers, you find the right tile for their projects, on time and in budget. And then we get inquiries from contractors who are bidding on jobs like, what's the lead time? I'm like, well, it's a stock tile, but at any given time we may have 10 or 11% of our line out of stock temporarily. So if you do win the bid, you have to order it. And then this is where, and I'll give you a little secret, when we get an order, if it's depending on the quantity, if they don't want to take it right away, we could earmark a container that's coming in or future containers to make sure that when we order with the factories, we know that project needs 50,000 feet. We don't need to take it from our current stock, but we earmark a container coming in for them in the appropriate time, but plenty of time to make sure that it's there. We account for any, market changes or, things going on in the industry or the shipping industry. So we do that. Also, there are projects that are monster projects, hundreds of thousands of square feet, where there's, particularly extra special pricing. It's based on, do you want to pull this from our stock, or if you give us 12 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks, we're going to order it for you for that project and bring it in often to a pier and often straight to the job site. Doesn't touch our warehouse. So that is,
I think that's a great strength. The logistics of it all is amazing. I mean, I can't get to the mailbox every day, so I can't imagine trying to get 300 containers unloaded. So, John, you like you said, you do this every day. What is your summer hit for? Let it be either your top seller or your. And you say this a lot in your product happy hours. Your sexiest tile of the summer.
I would say one of the most interesting ones. There's two of them that stand out. One is Color One, which is a really incredible mix of two different worlds, a concrete tile and a glazed lava stone. And I know you're familiar with it because you've been doing some intense studies on the technical characteristics of how to install it. Does it need to be sealed or not? That's a real hot line. Today I worked on a project where they're using the pink blend and another one, a little more earthy blend. So I think the Color One is really hot. Wabi Sabi, primarily. I really love that line because I love saying Wabi Sabi. That's number one. Number two, it's a really nice line. It's a 3x something ceramic wall tile made in Spain, undulated surface.
Yeah.
Irregular edges, some really nice, deep, rich glazes that are thick and just gorgeous when you see it. So I like the Wabi Sabi. It's really been really cool to work with those lines. So yeah, we launch tiles every week, multiple times. So our summer collection were ones that kind of just happened to be launching. And when was this episode? This was early June.
Yeah, this was early June. We have one question from TikTok from David. Thanks for tuning in, David. And he asked, and I'm going to try to say this in the right way. How do we have a certain personnel that slaps the customers, that returns the special order items and doesn't even open them? Is there a special department for that?
Yes, and that's actually my department as well. I have a second job at Tile Bar, and I do that at gratis, no charge for the company. No,
David, good to know. If you need that, John Tedesco will take care of those customers that return them. You can email him directly.
Well, good news is that Tile Bar, when we started the company, our incredibly brilliant and dynamic CEO, when he launched, he was looking at companies that were like, it's a cliche, but out of the box, trendsetters, things like that. Yeah. And Zappos, for example, had like this incredible return policy. So, I think he was inspired by companies like that. And Zappos had a 365-day return policy for shoes or something like that. So guess what? We have that.
That's what we have.
And we still have it to date. So it's really amazing that we do that. It just gives people the confidence, because it really is bad if you place an order and then your project gets delayed 6 months and then that happens to be like the manufacturer discontinues it. Yeah. Things happen.
There's so many things. Yes.
So we encourage people to order more and then return it if you want.
Yeah. And I agree with you. John also said that, if you don't know what you're doing with concrete tile, you can get in a mess. And those were some of the tests that I did, just trying to make some good recommendations for our website and our clients. So when they buy the concrete tile, they're going in with their eyes wide open. Now,
so on the color one, Craig, that we talked about, so the cement portion tile needs to be sealed and the lava stone does not, correct?
Correct. Yeah, the lava stone has a pretty heavy glaze on it, so
Yeah.
it's good. And I will say, this is one of the few tiles that I'll say this to, but the unglazed lava stone, even using pre-sealing and using a grout release, it will still stain when you grout it.
Right. So you just need to use a release, or be careful. Don't use a contrasting color.
Yes, the grout release or either pre-sealing helps, but it still does not. You cannot get back to the original color.
Got it.
After grouting.
Got it.
And then our next episode, is simply backsplashes. We were talking about the ins and outs of backsplashes. I've always said if you fancy doing a tile job, the backsplash is a good place to start. Number one, you're not on your knees. Number two, it's normally not a lot of tile. And number three, if you mess it up, you don't have to buy that much again.
And also, usually aren't many or any like out corners and in corners. Maybe there's some,
Correct.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
So, and then up top, where underneath the cabinet is, even though it's right in front of you, it's kind of hidden unless you're looking under it. So it could be a little forgiving. Now, the reason for that mad emoji is, I have a lot of pet peeves with backsplashes because it's the kitchen is the heart of the home, and because it is a spot where a lot of people do it yourself, and it is the most photographed room in any house is probably a kitchen, like when you're talking about magazines and articles, right? And I just see a tremendous amount of things that make me crazy. And we talked about that. We talked about the top 10 things I think you don't do, or something to that effect, for your backsplash.
And don't give all of them. We want people to go back and watch these. So what's the top one? What's your top one that you're
hands down
backsplash pet peeve?
I have it.
Got it. Go.
It's where you end the backsplash. So you have a backsplash, you have upper cabinets, and you have lower cabinets. The lower cabinets are usually a little wider than the upper cabinets. Do not bring your tile past the upper cabinets to match the granite on the lower part. It looks nasty. You have to stop at the end of the upper cabinet, and not only at the upper cabinet, not at the outside of the frame, kind of like a half an inch in where the
Tuck it in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, if you're doing a backsplash out there, call me. Friends don't let friends mess up their backsplashes. I'm your friend. Right. Call me, email
call John,
me.
He will install your backsplash for you.
Yes, I won't.
Isn't that what you said?
Yes. So yeah, that was a great episode. Check it out. There's a lot of, and there's some things we didn't get to talk about. So no, I'm just saying, like, there was a lot of.
I had some pet peeves too.
What about you?
John's throwing in some stuff. He says backsplashes can be very tedious. Yes, and those aren't the ones I was talking about starting with. When I say a simple 3x6, 4 1/4, something, let's walk before we run. And our next episode, this is when John left me. John just disappeared one week. And my buddy Keith Stevens, shout out to Keith. Thank you for coming on and co-hosting with me. And Keith and I have known each other a very long time, and we briefly worked together. But now Keith is like just an amazing rep connoisseur, but he's seen a bunch of different parts of the tile industry. And so we spent that episode talking about.
Didn't you guys talk about like collaborating and things like that?
Yeah, there's talking about the collaboration between the distributor, the manufacturer, the general contractor, the subcontractor. The good thing about that conversation, if you go back and watch it, Keith has been in a lot of those different positions, so he had the perspective,
right,
to be able to say, "Hey, Craig, don't just look at it from the contractor's perspective," which is my default. You got to look at it from this perspective, because just like a Rubik's Cube, if I'm looking at the Rubik's Cube, I see, well, it's a red cube. Well, John, you're seeing yellow. So, and in my opinion, that's how you innovate and succeed, and you make everything better.
Would you believe I can do a Rubik's Cube in about 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes, 50 seconds?
I do not believe that at all.
It's a lie. I cannot.
Okay.
All right. I just set the record straight. I couldn't do it. The only way I could do it is peeling the stickers off and replacing them. My son could do it pretty quick.
Taking you apart and peeling the stickers off, I do not have the patience. But yeah, that episode was really, really good. I don't know where you were that week.
Yeah, I don't remember. I was blacked out. Yeah, I don't know. No, I had a really big industry event, so couldn't be there.
Yeah. And you were big in the industry events. You're big on doing what we talked about, which is, I think, why you weren't there.
Collaborating. Yeah, I was actually surprised at another event. I actually received an award for outstanding leadership in Interior Design Society. It was a national award. Okay. And what his funny story is, and the reason I bring it up is that it was a whole night of awards. And this was the first award they gave out. And there was 250 people in the Marriott Marquis in Manhattan. And all these people were at Tile Bar a few days prior at the cocktail reception for Interior Design Society. And they call my name up, pictures on the screen. I should have guessed why they asked for my headshot. I thought they were just, weeks before. I thought they needed just to have the presidents of the chapters. So they call me up. I get the award. And I just went up to the mic and I just said, "Welcome to New York, everybody," because everyone was from somewhere else. And that was it. Like, it was the first time in my life there's been a mic in front of me and I didn't give a speech. And they were like dumbfounded. They were like looking at me like, why didn't you just talk about things? Yeah, that was the first time that ever happened.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've never known you to be a loss for words.
Yeah. It was a shock though. But that was a great episode. I'm glad he came on board, and we have a lot of great guests like him and others in the industry. Yeah. And here's your summer home.
Yeah. Yes, my summer home, the Biltmore. Now this probably is kind of windy right now, but that was a nice few days we had together as an entire team. And luckily we were able to do, even though we had some technical difficulties, we were able to do a show live at the Biltmore. Next year, I'm going to be better prepared, and we're going to stream it live. And let's go ahead and commit right now.
What are we doing?
Let's commit that we're going to have an industry icon on the show.
All right. But you're already on the show. Who else are we going to get?
Well, we got to get another industry icon.
All right.
I don't know.
All right.
But we were at the lovely Biltmore for just some work training, and we always want to try to do the show when we can. And we were lucky enough to have a couple of guests that evening, and one of them was our very own Carolina, who runs that. Not runs that area, but that is her territory. That's her home base. And she brought on one of her best clients. And I didn't realize this, that Venus Williams, the tennis player, has an architectural firm.
Yeah, she has a design firm called V-Star. And Sonia, who was our guest, is a principal of that organization. And she was a panelist at our summer what do we call it? I forget what we called our sales summit. Jeez, our sales summit down in Coral Gables, Florida, at the Biltmore Hotel. And so Sonia was a great panelist. Carolina was the moderator, and we invited them to join our podcast, which we did in the hall, the lobby of this beautiful, iconic hotel in Coral Gables. Tile Bar was like running the place. We had about 130 rooms booked.
I don't know if anybody else was there. It was just us.
It was insane. It really was incredible. Yeah, so that was a great time. Good to see a lot of our colleagues that we only knew by Zoom or Teams meetings or phone calls.
Absolutely.
And it was really, really good. And we talked with Carolina, and Sonia kind of, I guess, about collaborating, and she talked about why having good partners in the industry and the trades part, and talked about how Carolina was an epitome of that, like a really good example of being a rep, presenting products and being a resource for the A&D community, and at the great job that Carolina does in that. And Sonia was very appreciative of that relationship, and it's very symbiotic, and they work well together. And so that's kind of a goal for all of our reps across the country, to have relationships like that. And when there's a project, they bring us on, and we help them find, tile and stone for their projects that are in budget and on time.
Yeah, and that's a very important relationship, and it can be very touchy, because there's a lot of different moving parts. As the salesperson, you want to sell the job because that's how you make your living, but also your client wants to give the owner their vision, and you hope they marry up together. And I think the best sales reps put the project ahead of everything.
Absolutely. There's been many times, it's probably weekly, where I'll have a architect or designer or developer reach out to me and say, hey, do you have this product, or I need something that looks like this at this price point? I'll literally go to a competitor's website and send them the link. Like, if I don't have it, I'll be like, hey, look, I have these 4 things with this 5th thing. I think this guy, you may want to check this out. And it sounds crazy, and I'll probably get fired tonight after this, but it was a good run. But I do that, but I build rapport with my customers. I am the first person they'll reach out to when they need tile. Absolutely. And it's just being a good resource. And, again, it's not that they can't find
the sale, but it, like you said, sometimes providing the resource it's the long-term game rather than a short-term win.
It is a long-term game, because if they come to you first, and then sometimes if they come to me first and they want something that's not even typically something that we have, but I know I have access to through a special order from a factory or something custom made, then we have the first shot in there. So it's been really a good philosophy of mine and our team to be a good resource. We have the best, not only the best sales team, boots on the ground in the country, for the tile, stone, LVT industries in the country, for sure. We also have a great internal team where if somebody's looking for something in the West Coast, our rep will we have a special messaging group. We send the message out, and 100 people are getting this email saying, hey, I'm looking for a purple penny round with yellow dots in it. And it's amazing. Somebody always chimes in and says, hey, did you know that factory we deal with in Spain? Try that, check it out. It's really, so we are an amazing resource for information. It really is.
To clarify, the question came up on the other screen. That is not the Biltmore Estate in North Carolina, which is totally different and beautiful in the same. Maybe we can do one there. That is the Biltmore Estate in Coral Gables, Florida.
Are they related?
I am, and the question was, I am in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
That is where I reside, but I do not live at the Biltmore House, which is the largest home owned by a person in America.
So there was a home on Long Island that was the largest residence, and at one point it was over 100 rooms, Ohika Castle. Otto Kahn, and it was like an acronym of his initials, and he built it for his soon-to-be wife a long time ago, and built this castle, and it's pretty cool. Largest resident. Just a fun fact for you people out there, since you mentioned the Biltmore.
Yeah, the Biltmore is the. I think the Vanderbilts built it, but I think it's still I don't know what we're gonna have to fight. It is still owned by the same family, and they, at least this is what they tell you on the tour, it's the largest home owned, still owned, family owned.
But is that related to? I don't know anything about either place. Are they related to each other, the two Biltmores, or no?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I did not see anything that related them. But
got it. Okay.
Somebody look that up. I'm sure somebody out there in the interweb knows the answer to that.
In the interweb.
Next week, we got back from Florida.
Mail us a letter if you find out Give him your home address, and we can send it to my office at 45 West 21st Street, New York, 10010. Send me a letter. Just try to go old school here, Craig.
That's right, old school.
Yeah. Mail me a letter. That is crazy.
So the next week we didn't talk about tile as much as we talked about furniture.
Yes. So we had a great guest, Ellie Eisenberger, who is oh my God, she's amazing, dynamic, very talented, and really important part of Tile Bar. Absolutely. Because she heads up our vanity line, which we're like, what? Vanities? Tile Bar is just doing that. What are we going to be selling next? Something random? No. Vanities are not random, because vanities are part of the bathroom and in our home improvement or multifamily world or hospitality world. They're together in the same room.
Right. And there's no reason why you shouldn't design your bathroom with both of them in mind. And I think it's ingenious that we've added that part to our catalog, and we know, I know because I've done it myself. I'll buy my tile here and then I'll switch over to another app like Wayfair and buy my vanity and have it shipped. So why do that? Why can't I do the same place?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like going to one store for your slacks and another store for your shirt. Why not do it together? And it's not just wait, someone has a comment there.
Yeah. Daniel, the Biltmore State is a home to the largest privately owned house in the United States.
Wow.
It has 250 rooms.
Wow, that's a lot.
So if Daniel says our house in North Carolina is bigger than your house in New York, it has to be true. And
so Daniel, while you're on the interweb, look up Oheka, OHEKA, Oheka Castle.
Daniel, get on that. But when you have 250 rooms, you got to have a lot of bathrooms, which means you need a lot of vanities.
That's true. So
bring it back around, right?
Well, Craig, you mentioned that we added it or whatever. We didn't just add it. We bought the company
That's right.
So there was a company called Chameleon Concepts. We bought that company, which designs and manufactures vanities. So it's not just slapping up some vanities online. We literally, when we talked to Ellie, how many lines did she say we had live? Do you remember?
I think we currently have 23.
But yeah, do you remember what we had when she was on just a few weeks ago?
16, maybe. I don't know.
I think she's had 19 at the time. We're adding 2 per week. Not just our vanity, like lines. Each line has multiple colors, sizes, formats, configurations, right? Yes. So we have 23 the last time I checked, which was a week ago. So we probably have 24 now. And by the end of the year, we're going to have 35 to 45. I mean, you could watch the show. She said 48, I think, or something like that. I'm just giving her a little out here. 35 to 40 something vanities. Priced really well, made really well.
I think that was the biggest thing that I took away from it is I've bought a couple of vanities online, just doing home renovations before I came on, and the quality really differs. And the quality of the stuff we have is top notch. You can tell that Ellie is really invested in it, and she loves it. And I believe if we called her tonight and said, "Hey, I need a vanity for David's bathroom," she'd be like, "What color does he need? What's he gonna do? I'll send him some pictures tonight."
And she would. We stock our vanities. It's not like 15-week lead time. That's a big part of the industry, and historically, it's always been
part of our warehouse. Yeah,
it's true, because it takes up a lot of it's not. None of it's knockdown stuff like you go to, Home Depot and get a knockdown unit, or IKEA where it's your big console is like in a flat pack 5 inches tall.
Exactly.
with instructions. Do you ever see those IKEA instructions with like a little stick figure and a little? You got to look. There's like a little black dot on a big panel, and that has to be in the top left corner, but you don't notice that little black dot in the top left corner. So when you put it together, you put it on the right side, and at the end of the day, speaking from experience,
it sounds like
it doesn't work. And you're like, what's going on? It's like, oh my God, they are the worst instructions. So ours are pre-made. They're all put together. They're built.
Oheka
Castle.
And I think they're solid. So Hika Castle is a wedding venue, which leads me to believe it's not privately owned.
Not anymore. Not anymore. So thank you. Good investigation there. Yeah, I'd love to have. Yeah, it's like this is amazing.
Yeah, well, he's like our own moderator. Thanks, Dan.
This is fantastic.
I'm gonna get him the login so he can stop. I won't have to look at the screens anymore.
Well, we got to be careful what we wish for. He's going to be our fact checker. Right, hey, John. I just counted. You only have 21 lines of vanities. I'm calling BS here. Right. We got to be careful. But Ellie is a star.
Ellie's a star. And we went from vanities back to prehistoric times to talk about the history of tile.
Well, before I liked saying wabi sabi, but I also like to say Mesopotamia, and we did talk about that. We talked about tiles back in the ages, and we kind of chronologically went through very loosely. Thank God there was nobody fact checking, because we probably had some thousands of year gaps in our conversation. But we talked about the history of tile, and the gist of it was what, Craig? What was the gist of this whole conversation?
The gist of the conversation. Well, first of all, Daniel works for beer, so that I think we can afford him.
All right.
But the gist.
I know a brand right now that's on sale. We could send him some coupons.
That's right. I think the gist of the history of tile was in my opinion, was that the tile that was installed thousands of years ago is not that different than the tiles we install today. So the history is long, but yet the actual product has not changed that much over the years.
It's true, right? It's clay, water. I always say it's like clay, water, and fire as the three main ingredients.
Right.
And that's true.
And that's so really... I'll tell you that one of our, I was giving you credit for stuff I did. I take these videos and I chop them up and send them out.
Yes.
And the best traction one that I got that got the most views was the one about tile being the best building products ever. Now, I don't know if they're agreeing with me saying that or it just got traction. Maybe it's controversial. I don't know. But I stand behind that. I think ceramic tile, somebody said wood was better, but I disagree. I don't think wood's better.
Well, try to dig up an ancient ruin that has a wood floor still intact. It's not there. But mosaics, right, from centuries ago are still there. But we also talked about not only the longevity and the functionality of tile, which is the main purpose of it. Yeah. We also talked about other forms, like it was used for art form. It was used for, communications, telling stories. Being able to bring color into a space that would last, where a painting may not be, or a fresco may last or fade or get water damage over time. Tile would not. So that was a great episode. I'm glad that this episode was well received based on, how much response we've gotten. We've gotten comments back. This makes me happy because it really is. Tile is probably the oldest building material. When we say tile, could be, ceramic, terracotta, zeolite tile, clays of some sort, glass tiles being introduced.
Brick. I mean, we can even throw brick in there, even though it's not a tile. It's still the similar composition.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I like this thumbnail because I look like I've got a 6-pack and you look tired. So
it's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Pretty accurate. We have a good time. And then coming off of the history of tile, we wanted to talk about the different types of tile. And ceramic tile is a really big umbrella, is what I tell our team when I'm talking about the different types of tile. And under that umbrella comes a lot of different subcategories that we discussed. Was this last week?
This was last week. We were talking about the different types of tile. I have this vision of this tile that's 24 by 24. It's porcelain and it's black and white, and it has these really nice geometric colors. And it kind of reminds me of this past Friday's post of my product happy hour product highlight that we did. And it was pretty cool. It was actually an encore presentation. I had done this video a while ago. But so if you always gotta check out my Instagram, folks, and check it out every week, I post that.
Yeah, those are helpful. And sometimes they're not released products yet. Sometimes it's a sneak peek. And
I did get in trouble once when I first started with Tile Bar. About 6 years ago, over 6 years ago, I started these videos, these impromptu videos, because I would go to our headquarters and I'd see us photographing all these beautiful tiles. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta share this with the world. So I started doing it. It was all great until I got like, hey John, people are calling asking for the samples of this product and it's not live yet. So
you didn't realize you were that good of a salesman.
You know what? And guess who was threatening me with bodily harm? To think of the person. It was Ellie Sheva.
Ellie Sheva, yes.
Yeah.
All 4'10" of her.
Yeah. So, but I took it seriously because she's serious and important. So
she
probably
fights dirty.
What's that?
She probably fights dirty.
Yeah, she'd throw a tile at you.
But I think I love this episode just because this is what I do day in and day out. I talk about these different types of tiles. I mean, I can't tell you how many questions I got about rectified tile this week. And hey, do we have a quick? We're almost out of time, but here I'm going to run the bumper anyway because I haven't used it yet. I got a question for you, John.
All right.
I don't know that you expected this today.
I did not. And what's my record?
I think you're one and I don't know how many we've done, but I think I've stumped you once.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was, I had to concede that I got it after you gave me like hints, a lot of hints.
That's right. And it really wasn't a tile question. It was more of a construction question. It was
right.
what was the acronym RAF stand for, which was
I have accepted my fate. I'm good with
that's
it.
All right. But here, I got another one. This is
all right.
This is for you. And if you're just joining in, this is our question and answer time. And this is a question from actual clients and or a colleague in the industry that have sent something across to the technical team and it came across my desk and I answered it. And now I'm going to ask John to see if he can answer it. But I'll stall a little bit. So I'll give you guys some time to jump in. All of you on TikTok, get ready, get your fingers ready to answer this question. So the question was, and I'm paraphrasing because actually that's not the right paper. That was showmanship.
Oh, that was just for theatrics. Yeah,
that was for theatrics.
Well played, Grasshopper.
Yeah. The question was, we have a series of ceramic tile that has a 3x18 size and I think a 4x12 size. And they asked me if this tile was rectified. So let me repeat that. It's a ceramic tile measuring 4x12 and there was another size that was 3x18. And is this a rectified material?
I'm not going to answer right away. I know the answer. What were those stories when you were a kid, like something Brown Detective? I forget what it was called, where they'd tell a story and you have to guess, like solve the mystery. So while people are thinking about this, let's put up my question to you. So let people, think about it a moment.
You're thinking about the question about the ceramic tile of different sizes. Is it rectified? And your question is?
Right. And can you tell without going to the website? That's the question, and figuring out which tile it is. He did give I caught you. I know you were clever there. I know what you did. So anyway, let's go. Today is a national.
What I did. So I'm interested to figure out what I did.
National Day. So every day.
Oh, the National Day. Yeah.
So while people are thinking, if that ceramic tile could be rectified, those two sizes, I'm going to throw your question up there, and then we'll go back to me.
Okay. So you always ask me, like, what is today? It's the National Day, because there's always a National Day. It's National Hockey Puck Day or National I wear my glasses upside down day or something like that.
Right.
So your okay, I see it. Your question is today's National Day. And these are my three choices. Is that right?
So those are the three choices. Two are truth, and one is a not truth. What's that? What's that game called? A truth, a dare? I don't know. Isn't there something where two truths and a lie? Yeah, I think that's it. Anyway,
I think that's right. Yeah, truth or dare is when you kiss a girl in middle school.
All right, forget that. So
yeah. So we got
today is lemon juice day, chop suey day, and tomato sauce day. One of those is not like the other because it's fake. I made it up.
I think you made up lemon juice day.
That's a good guess. Final answer?
That's my final answer. Lemon juice day.
You are wrong. Tomato sauce day is wrong.
So it is lemon juice day and it is chop suey day.
That is correct, which is, I don't know why it's today. Lemon juice I get because it's the summer. Okay. Tomato sauce day in the Italian world, this is the times everyone's making their tomato sauce in bulk. You know, if you have gardens and tomatoes and you're jarring. And so I kind of tried to make it sound legitimate, but it's not tomato sauce day because every day is tomato sauce day for me.
Gotcha. Two truths and a lie.
Thank you.
Is the name of things.
Send that man a beer. He's up to like a 6-pack today.
Yeah. We're gonna But he just heard. I'm thinking tomato sauce. We already told the answer. Well, I don't even know what chop suey is. I'm sorry. What is chop suey?
It's an Asian food. I think it's like cabbage and some kind of maybe like the white sauce. It's American Chinese restaurants offer it, and I say that because it probably doesn't exist. Like you go to Italy, you don't order chicken parm,
right?
You know, like you do, but then you get embarrassed because they're gonna, you know. I did that once. The first time I was in Italy with my dad visiting the tile show in Bologna, and I wanted like a chicken parm. I'm thinking I'm going to get the best chicken parm in my life here. And they brought me out like something that you could tell that it was a bird. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I don't know what it was. It was not chicken parm. Anyway. Yeah.
All right. So back to my question. Nobody was brave enough to throw an answer in.
Well, I think you were trying to give me the answer without saying it. A ceramic tile is never rectified. It's just a porcelain that you rectify.
Agreed.
All right.
I wasn't trying to give you the answer. That is literally how the question was asked. And that was asked.
Well, people are probably wondering, how can you answer the question if you don't know the series and you're not going online and checking out the specs?
Maybe. I mean, you had to be a really, I guess you would have to be a real tile nerd to know the answer to that.
Guilty.
You knew the answer to it.
Yeah.
And so, I guess we just last thing to say is that this concludes our summer recap.
Yeah. And, I'm not agreeing it's the end of summer, even though this is a summer recap. I'll have to concede in some regards it's the end of summer, but it's not because it's beautiful out. It's going to be really nice. Everyone have a great holiday weekend coming up. Be safe. If you're down in Florida, be extra safe, really, because these things are really crazy. Oh my God, this guy is awesome. Chop suey is a dish in American Chinese cuisine and other forms of overseas Chinese cuisine, consisting of meat and eggs cooked quickly. Yeah.
Wikipedia cooks it?
Yes, exactly. Chinese meat and eggs. Yeah, it's I think I've only had it once.
I've never had it. I've heard it before, but I didn't know what it was, and I'd probably be scared to get it.
What's your go-to Chinese food? Do you have such a thing?
Probably General Tso's chicken.
All right.
Yeah.
Is that General Chow's uncle?
I don't know his uncle. No.
Yeah, it's General Chow. I think it's like Chow. General Chow.
Chow. I don't know.
You know what I like lately? Mushu. You ever have mushu pork or mushu chicken or mushu vegetables?
I've heard of it, but I've never had it. I don't get too adventurous in the Chinese world.
Yeah. Well, this has been really fun recapping our summer. We're so glad that you have come on board the ride with us. If you haven't seen all the episodes, which I'm sure you all have, you have an opportunity to go back to all of our sites. YouTube and LinkedIn's probably the easier sites to go and check it out. Leave a comment. Let us know where you watched from if it's after the fact. But if you're there now, post, let us know. We're really happy that you're with us, and we're glad that we're on a 25th episode. We're breaking that milestone, going to 26 soon. We got a lot of guests, and it's going to be fun. So this is John Tedisco, and I'd like to wish you peace, health, and happiness.
And I'll ditto what John says.
Did I stump you? I know that was so eloquent. You just couldn't.
I've ruined it now. I've ruined
it.
Everybody in Florida, take care, take shelter. We're with you. It has been a fun ride. It's our, I think, silver anniversary is what we'll call it.
There we go.
But 25 episodes. It's pretty fun. We're excited about the future and what's coming up. If you have ideas for episodes, please email us, send us a text or a comment. Let us know what is going on. We want to just continue to build this community and help us all learn and grow our businesses in the industry. And as always, just keep learning together and tile the world. John, I'm ending the live stream on TikTok. There's a cricket.
I think we're still live. Is that you, cricket, or me, cricket?
Oh, crap.